Did everyone get it? Claude Code accidentally leaked the source code, which crashed GitHub for a short time. At the first moment of open source, I had Claude Code analyze its own operating logic. Let's see how this world's #1 coding agent is designed. After my analysis, the truly impressive part of Claude Code is actually about limiting AI, making it less prone to making silly mistakes. So here, I have summarized the 3 most core techniques. The first point is its prompt technique. In Claude's open source code, I found it extensively uses reverse prompts, which I mentioned in one of my previous videos, as a very effective technique to restrict AI to act according to your wishes. In other words, it is not about stimulating the model, but about constraining the model. So here, I'll give you 4 examples. I believe everyone has encountered these issues to some extent when using AI agents. The first one is that it makes the AI report outcomes faithfully, meaning it should state the results as they are without embellishment. Many of us have noticed that AI has strong hallucinations, right? It often might not pass the tests, yet it tells you the code is well written and ready for deployment. This is completely turning things upside down. So it requires AI to report faithfully and be honest and straightforward. The second point is, I noticed in Claude Code's prompts, it frequently says AI should not use bash, meaning to use bash less and not run a command for everything. It actually has many specialized tools, and there's no need to use the command line for everything without constraints. Even in my own projects, I find that AI will try to use the cat command just to read or write a file. This approach is actually very inefficient, so I found that indeed Anthropic also noticed this issue, and Claude Code doesn't like AI to use bash extensively. The third interesting prompt technique I found is give status, not geth, when you haven't seen the results yet, don't report or make wild guesses. Lastly, never delegate understanding. This means that when using a sub-agent, you can let it do the work, but you cannot outsource the understanding or the judgments you should make. Work can be outsourced, understanding cannot. Then, the second point, I found that within Claude Code, there is a so-called contrarian agent hidden. But what is the biggest problem with many AI agents? It's not that it can't write, but it's too easily moved by itself. So Claude Code specifically designed an agent to solve this problem, one that finds faults and plays the devil's advocate. Its function is to specifically find bugs, pick faults, and question things. It gives this agent a basic setting. Your job is not to confirm implementation works, it's to try to break it. That is, you should try to break things as much as possible. So Claude Code specifically wrote many rebuttals for this contrarian agent to counter the excuses of those lazy agents. I find this very interesting. We can even see it as a joke. For example, I took a screenshot of a few, like the first one. The code looks correct based on my reading. This means the code seems fine when reading it, but you haven't run it, right? This is obviously incorrect, and then we look at it, so I don't have a browser to use. How about I believe that everyone doing web coding now would install something like browser use or agent browser, these MCPs or skills, right? It can access the browser, so that's not an excuse. The last one, this will take too long, right? For example, if I need to refactor a large feature, it might say, oh, this might take too much time. Let's first do a simple version. Then Anthropic Claude Code give the rebuttal reason as not your call. It's too time consuming. That's not your issue. It's something the user needs to consider, right? Don't think for the user about this matter. And the last point I want to talk about today is its on-demand loading tools and skills. When we usually work on agents, we often fall into the misconception that giving it many tools makes it strong. However, by analyzing Claude Code's code, I found that they clearly believe that too many tools can actually make AI dumber. Therefore, the design philosophy of Claude Code is not to show the AI all the tools at once, but to first inform it that these things might exist. Whether you should use them and how to use them is only determined when you actually need them by retrieving a complete explanation through some special retrieval tools and then calling them. This aligns well with what we recently referred to as progressive disclosure in Agent Harness. Finally, then where said that's there? Let's quickly review. Today, I had Claude Code analyze its own code and summarize the most crucial points. The key to making AI truly useful is not to make it very smart, but to help it avoid those frustrating pitfalls.